Hey guys, this is my first impression on Vengeance Demon Hunter after the third week of Mythic Plus testing. For talents, I was mostly playing this build with small variations. Holy Silence. Vengeance playstyle does not change a whole lot going into Dragonflight. Soul generation has gone down a lot with the loss of Shadowlands tier set and the legendary Blind Faith. However, they did get a lot of new powerful passives and cooldowns. The biggest change is the new Frailty. This used to only apply through Spirit Bomb and provided a bit of extra healing. Now with the combination of Void Reaver, Vulnerability, and Soul Crush, Frailty becomes a stackable mechanic that will reduce the damage you take, increase the damage you deal to the target, and provide a lot of extra healing. On top of this, Painbringer passively gives us a solid consistent damage reduction for every soul you consume. Soul Rending is now easy to obtain, providing a huge source of free healing. So instead of just healing through souls, Demon Hunters now have a lot of passive leech healing and become more of a mitigation tank. Focus Cleave, Soul Furnace plus the tier set makes Spirit Bomb and Soul Cleave hit for a ton of damage. Demon Hunter's tree also has a bunch of random passives that increase parry, magic damage reduction, max HP, and healing. Basically, Vengeance is now way tankier both in and outside of cooldowns with the combination of all these powerful passives. Demon Spikes are also much more reliable than before with Feed the Demon, Extended Spikes, and Calcified Spikes. With these talents, Spike's uptime is not only higher but also provide a solid damage reduction every time it falls off. As I mentioned earlier, Demon Hunters now have a couple more buttons, notably Soul Carver, the Hunt, and a choice of Elcian Decree or Fodder to the Flame. Collective Anguish, the legendary from Shadowlands, is now an easy to obtain talent on the base tree, making Feldev a powerful offensive CD as well. Utility-wise, Vengeance has access to an absurd 10-second AoE silence sigil, Darkness, and Chaos Nova while keeping Imprison and Sigil of Misery. Vengeful Retreat and Fellblade can now optionally be chosen for extra mobility.
And bring it to you.
There's a whole lot of bears. Good attack of the bears. You have Sack?
10
10
seconds.
minutes
up in like 10.
He's gonna use AM first. Oh, these guys don't do that much damage. Just sacking.
Not too bad.
Keep sacking your VDH's curse. What?
Alright, fine. So how does having all of this feel to play, and is it fun? Vengeance has actually been one of my favorite tanks to play in beta, and has felt super solid so far. The addition of new cooldowns add a little bit more flavor to the simplistic rotation they've always had, and there's a bit more of a thought process with stacking up Frailty. We now want to build up a full bar of Fury, spam Soul Cleave to 6 or 8 stacks of Frailty, and land either a large Hunt, Elcian Decree, or Soul Carver. Demon Spikes is now also great to drop for a second before using another Spikes because of Calcified Spikes. Soul Cleave is now strong on single target and solved the issue that plagued Demon Hunters for the longest time of having no single target damage. Before, Demon Hunters were only good at AoE because of how powerful Spirit Bomb, Soul Cleave, Immol Aura, and Elcian Decree were. Now, Vengeance Demon Hunters can actually excel at any target count. The utility has also felt insanely good to use. One of the problems I've always had with Demon Hunter was the lack of everything but a 6-second silence. Imprison wasn't always a reliable stop, and Misery was just okay. But with Master of Glaive now slowing, Chaos Nova, and silence lasting up to 10 seconds, VDH actually feels so good for him+. Right now, I do feel Demon Hunter is quite overtuned in many ways compared to other tanks, and will probably continue scaling later down the expansion. As with Warrior, I could see a lot of talents potentially being nerfed. With higher haste and soul generation, talents like Painbringer and Frailty stacking become very strong. Currently with the low haste values on beta, my Frailty stacks can sit between 2 and 6, but with haste, that can go as high as 4 to 8. Each of these stacks of Frailty is straight up 4% damage reduction, 8% increased damage, and a good bit of extra healing. And with the damage reduction from Painbringer, Demon Hunters are sitting at a really high passive damage reduction. With the combination of all these talents and being passively tanky, Vengeance has little to no weaknesses. Demon Hunter is similar to Warrior in many ways. Both of these specs had all of their weaknesses covered with the new talents. Vengeance's weakness of being squishy outside of meta, gaps in mitigation, specialized utility, and lack of single target damage and survivability are no longer a thing. Demon Hunter damage is up there with the highest damage tanks and is one of the beefiest tanks. The utility is also some of the best for M+ specific content. With all of that said, I could see Demon Hunter being one of the best M+ tanks. This class was made for dungeons with all the utility, mobility, and short CDs for fighting between pack and pack. The flexible damage profile with Soul Cleave plus Frailty excelling in single target and Spirit Bomb dominating in uncapped AoE is also very big in M+. With that said, the days of tyrannical keys being scary for Demon Hunter are over. If you guys loved Demon Hunter in Shadowlands or BFA but hated the glaring weaknesses, you will absolutely love this spec in Dragonflight. That is all for the video. Hope you guys enjoy VDH as much as I did. Thanks for watching. Wait, channeling my Fell Dev cancels that. Okay, very cool.
You don't even have a shield.
I did have it. I picked it up, I used it, and then I Fell Dev'd, and then it... Okay, well.
Wow.
Yo, that wasn't just me, right? You guys saw that? I was channeling the shield and then fucking...
Pretty sad.
Oh my god, we're in the beginning.
Yeah. Not great.